YouTube, this is Retta. I'm going to do a reading on the missing CDC doctor. I'm doing this reading. Sorry, I'm trying to not to offend the family or anything like that. I'm just, worried about this young man's state of mind or what happened to him. There's a lot of conspiracies going on. His name is Timothy Cunningham, and I didn't read too much of it because you guys know I like to go on readings kind of cold, but the gist of it was that he worked for the CDC, and somehow I believe they said he was talking or he talked to someone in regards to the flu vaccine, and basically saying that the flu vaccine wasn't good. And next thing you know, he disappeared. His family says that he left his dog, his passport, everything. He wouldn't have left his dog. His dog went everywhere with him. His mother said something about she wishes that her last text with him was from the middle of the night, and he was like, "Are you up?" or something like that. She said she wishes that she contacted, she was up and she was able to contact, but nobody's heard or seen from him since. So I want to do a reading. I'm going to do it kind of differently than I usually do. I'm going to draw 3 cards to see the energy that surrounded him or the circumstances that surrounded Timothy. He was a handsome doctor too. So I guess I think the family's saying he wasn't depressed or anything, and I think someone else is trying to say something differently. I don't know. I'm trying to do it this way because I'm not trying to channel today. So I'm just going to draw 3 cards. The energy that surrounded him around the time of him being missing. Put that here. And I'm using, this is the Psychic Tarot for that. And then I'm using the Japaridze Tarot. And I'm going to do this reading a little differently. So this is in regards to Timothy Cunningham. And let's see if there was any foul play, or if he was depressed, or what was going on, if there was anything going on at work. Oops. So I'm going to kind of do a spread. You guys know I don't usually do a spread. But it's just a made-up spread that I'm doing right now in my head. And so Timothy Cunningham. Timothy Cunningham. Timothy Cunningham. Timothy Cunningham. Ooh, all these cards wanting to fall out. There's a whole bunch of them. Alright, hold on. Timothy Look at these cards want to speak. So far, a lot of passion and emotions. Okay, Timothy Cunningham. Timothy Okay, I want to see. So this is his disappearance, and I want to see. This is his disappearance. I'm going to do this is him now, or the circumstances now, and what led up to it. So this is what's led up to it. Okay, and then I want to see where he was, the cross to bear, his burden, the immediate, and what was on his mind. So okay, so I don't want to mess things up. So the energy surrounding him was material and spiritual prosperity, disconnect and boredom, and obstacles and challenges. Look at this. This obstacles and challenges. It's like he was going towards something, and there was there was an end and a drop off. So obstacles and challenges. So is this like life threatening, this obstacle? He could either fall down or he could land on his feet on the other side. There was some disconnect in regards to his life and in his job. And then there was a material and spiritual prosperity. Did he get some form of enlightenment? Did something enlighten him and change? So this is, we're going to start backwards. So the Empress is all about creativity, abundance, creativity and abundance. We might have to go back on here because this is not telling me of any type of death right now or anything. Okay, there's very secrets. So this is very secretive. Look at this eyeball. It's like a disconnect. So there was some disconnect, a disconnect in regards to this outcome. So there was a disconnect going on. Some was he in a relationship? If so, this relationship, it was either a relationship, it could be a partnership or a relationship. It was on kind of emotional ground. It was on emotional ground. The Jester of Fire was going forth, not too much on thought, but of actions. So going forth on actions and not thinking so well. The Jester also is coming up with a plan, a plan to, this kind of looks like a heart, don't it? But it's the Jester. So coming up a plan for action. So he was coming up with a plan for action. Okay, so we're going to go back to these cards in a minute. The Jester of Gardens. So coming up to a plan in regards to his job and maybe a transformation. He's like holding this transformation in his hand. So maybe he was thinking of a plan to go forth with his job, to either transform his job, to change it, or to take his job in his hand. The burden to was, remember I said transform? The burden was to end something and transition into something else. To end something and transition into something else. Underneath was the Priestess, which is your intuition, hidden obstacles. Nothing is ever given easily, to the High Priestess. You have to work hard for it. Let's see, in the immediate past was the Stranger of Winds. The Stranger of Winds, which is the Knight. So working off of emotion, going forward off of emotion, but not able to speak, going forth on emotions, and your movements are limited. If you see this, so this was in the past, your movements are limited. You see like this cord around or a snake around his legs, but also in regards to his mouth. So his movement and his thoughts or his talking was limited. So he was going forth on some thoughts. He had to he couldn't speak exactly what was on his mind, and he wanted to go forth on his thoughts, but his movements were limited. 9, wishing upon a star. That's the wish card. You wish upon a star. The Queen of Gardens. It's either a mother energy or a wife energy, but I don't believe he was married. So this is like a mother energy. So wishing upon a star. At the time he was. Remember, I also said that he reached out to his mother. So maybe he was hoping, to talk and seeing things. The Three of Fire is coming together, working towards something together, but also looking at things in a new perspective. I want to see what this Empress is about, because it's about prosperity, prosperity, creativity, also like pregnancy. The Hierophant. So Law and Order. He wasn't able to be as productive as he wanted to. He had to do things a certain way. And things were leading him up to some revelations in regards to this job and his family. So he wanted to transfer his job, transition it into in regards to, he wanted to transition his going forth, his plan for his job and his future. He wanted to stop and change some things, the end of something, a transition, in regards to like family, you know, family, abundance, his job. You know, he was thinking about abundance with his job. What's this High Priestess have to do with? Was that he was a naive, you know, with his job. He was supposed to toe the line, you know, with his job. He was supposed to toe the line, and he was kind of naive, and, you know, they expected loyalty for him to toe his line, and one false move and he could have crashed. Why was his voice, his thoughts was being limited. His voice was being limited. His movements were being limited because he was working off of emotions. His plan was an emotional plan in regards, emotional plan, and it left to some an emotional plan that is the Five of Gardens is like, it's like a loss of hope and prosperity. A loss of hope and prosperity. Like, this guy is looking, he's like hiding something, and he is homeless. What does this mean? Justice. The Queen of Fire. So justice. Was his boss a woman? Where is he right now? Four of Wands. He's contemplating. The Gesture of Tides is working off of making a plan with his emotions. Stranger in Fire. Stranger in Fire is removing a mask and going forth. See at the end of this, the Ace of Wands is he's up to something. The Seven of Fire is, you know, he's fighting a battle. There's fire all around him, and he's standing strong in it. He's standing strong, but he's kind of trapped. He's trapped with all these flames. I don't see that he is dead. On messages, he was given messages, or someone was giving him messages, or unexpected news. Judgment, his choices, the thoughts, his upheaval, and chaos a little bit. The King of Wands is going forth on passion. So going forth on passion, kind of primitive self. I don't think he's dead, to tell you the truth. Where is he? Something, his fortune has changed. He had some emotionals and some conflict. So he had some emotional conflict going on. Something emotional was conflicting him. He was having some conflict, some competition. And things were about to blow. You know, things were about to blow. You know, this volcano, you know, is ready to explode. So things were about to come to a head and explode. Temperance is trying to balance people emotionally. I always kept saying he felt like he was, you know, hanging on a tightrope or something. So balance, and his emotions were up and down. He felt stuck. And there's a lot of emotional issues going on, and there's the Ace of Gardens in regards to his job and his perspective, his choices, his job, his perspective, and his choices. He had to see things from a different perspective. Strangely enough, he's not dead right now. I don't know where he is, but I don't see any cards that will give me the impression that he has passed. He's going through a decision-making process. There's a lot of changes in his life, and a lot of, you know, things emotionally, and things were coming to a head. I don't know if things were coming to his a head at his job, where there was conflict and things coming to a head. Is he out on the street somewhere? Is he out on the street somewhere? Is he out on the street somewhere? Is he trying to be, like, removed? He's out in the street somewhere, or did someone take him? Is he okay? He's heartbroken. There's something. Is he okay? No, he's not okay. You know, this is the three of swords. So it's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Heartbreak. So he's not okay right now. And things have like completely, he's not okay in all those aspects. And it's the Tower. So it's complete upheaval, chaos, a complete swift change that knocked him. So all this has knocked him. The Five of Wands is still conflict, a lot of conflict, competition, a lot of conflict at work, competition. So he had conflict on many different fronts. He had an emotional conflict, physical conflict, mental conflict. The Nine of Gardens in regards to his job. A lot of this stuff had to do with his jobs. The end of a cycle. The Stranger of Tides. He was working off of emotions. He's in a very emotional place. He's still alive. I don't know if he's taken, you know, if he's taken without his, you know, someone took him, or is he literally on the street? You know, is he literally on the street? I guess a lot of things have came to a head. He's hurting physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally right now. He's conflicted. There's a lot of conflict, competition in regards to the workplace. He looked at things in a different perspective. His creativity and his abundance was stifled. His voice is being stifled, that he can't say what's on his mind. His movements are being limited. So he wishes that he was able to speak to his mother that night. He was to get a different perspective. He was hoping to get some different perspective from his mother that night. He texted her before he was going to go do something, or he knew something was coming. I don't know. I have a feeling, is someone doing something? Did he leave on his own will, or did someone do something to him? The Eight of Wands. He's in confinement right now. Doesn't this look like a jail cell or something? He's in confinement. His hands are tied. Someone has confined him. I think he knew it was coming. Something was coming. This conflict, everything came to a head. He's still alive right now. He's in some type of confinement, in a room, confined. He wished he could have spoke to his mother that night for a different perspective on something, or to talk and she can give him a different perspective. I will revisit this reading in the future, but this is for Timothy Cunningham. He is still alive right now. He is still alive. There's a lot of conflict going on with him emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. It shows that he did contact his mother. He wished he was able to see. I think she would have got tuned in to what was going on with him and gave him a different perspective. His movements are limited, which I've been saying that. It's either he's confined to a room. I do see her hands tied. Or he has put himself, even here, I think he's confined. He's confined somehow. As of right now, he's still alive. As of right now, I don't see him. I don't see any cards that will speak. I don't see a 10 of I don't see a 10 of swords, or even a 10 of wands. I see the death card, but that's not, I don't think he's dead right now. I think his movements are being confined. All right, that's the end of the reading. Tell me what you guys think and let me know. Bye.